Among the various tough times right now we have between the COVID, the earthquakes, the various invasions from every side that we are having right now. Uh, we the academics must go on, and I sincerely thank Lupin Oncology for the platform they have provided for the dissemination of the virtual knowledge right now. We will be discussing the management of the colorectal cancer and how it has paradigm changed over the last few years. When we deal with the colorectal cancers, the backbone ever was, ever is, and ever will be the chemotherapy. And most of these patients remain on a two-drug regimen, which includes the oral fluoropyrimidines that have demonstrated an non-inferiority as compared to the IV 5-fluorouracil, that's the capecitabine, and the oral fluoropyrimidines may be combined with the oxaliplatins or the irinotecan in the regimens of FOLFOX or FOLFIRI as the baseline backbones over and above which we can add the angiogenesis and the EGFR inhibitors. So where does the oral fluoropyrimidine comes in? We have a combination of Tegafur and Uracil. The Tegafur is the fluoropyrimidine product and Uracil is a DPD inhibitor. So when you combine this, the Tegafur and the Uracil, uh, it helps in the lowering the dose of the fluoropyrimidine by decreasing the catabolism of 5-fluorouracil, by increasing the amount of the active residual 5-fluorouracil, preserving the 5-fluorouracil activity, and with the DPD inhibitor, it decreases the side effects of the uracil. That's very important because whenever we give a 5-fluorouracil infusion or a tablet, you always have to see whether a DPD deficiency or insufficiency is not there. And has it shown an equivalence with the 5-fluorouracil? Yes. Among the stage 2 and 3 colon cancers, among the as well as in the adjuvant settings and in the palliative and the metastatic situations, there has been a number of trials that has compared the oral versus the IV regimen. When we took take of the oral regimen of the Tegafur Uracil as compared to the IV Folfox, we see in this NACPP trial, NACP is the group of the whole bowel and bowel and breast projects that they take in a collaborative research platform, and they compare the efficacy as well as the safety of the oral regimen as compared to the intravenous regimen with the disease-free survival and the overall survival after the primary surgery has been done, and it was uh, done in by a Roosevelt Park regimen, which includes the weekly 5-fluorouracil regimen for 6 to 8 weeks. That is, you give it for 24 weeks, and the second part received the Tegafur regimen, that is every 5 weekly on a day 1 to day 28 regimen. So you have a 4 weeks on, 1 week off, and this is to be continued for 25 weeks. So among the patients which was bioselected, 47% had a stage 2, 53 had a stage 3 with a 62.3 months follow-up. The hazard ratio was unity, which showed that there is no difference between the Tegafur and the Uracil versus the 5-FU leucovorin regimen, providing an equivalence of the disease-free survival rate also, which was hazard ratio was 1, and the Cox proportional hazard analysis also said that when we compared with age, stage, and number of the involved lymph nodes, there was no interaction with the OS or DFS. You could see the curves exactly kissing each other. You can't even move a pointer in between, that they are so much nearby to each other. And the toxicity was also similar in both the groups. In the Tegafur uracil group, 38.2% experienced any grade 3, grade 4, while in the Folfox regimen, it 37.8% experienced any side effects. The quality of life didn't differ. In conclusion, the oral regimen was similar as well as effective, with the equally important disease-free survival as well as the overall survival of the oral regimen as compared to the weekly bolus 5-FU leucovorin regimen. So these were equally and well-tolerated regimens. Now, when we see in the adjuvant situation, we also see in when we have to give them as a maintenance. So this was the data which was presented in hepatogastroenterology, and 47 patients were with 6 cycles of 5-fluorouracil group, and of them 101 were treated with the same regimen followed by an additional of Tegafur maintenance for 28 days with a 7-day rest period. And the median follow-up time was around 65 months. The age was 58 months. And the 3-year DFS wasn't statistically different in between these two groups. However, for those patients which 3-year DFS rates were 80 and 60.7% with the 5-FU group alone, which shows that the hazard ratio was 0.3, and you could see the difference when you don't give maintenance Tegafur. You feel that you are doing an injustice to the patient by you can see that graph falling much before. So the 5-fluorouracil graph is much below. When you add the maintenance, the graph is much more above, showing that there is a reduced number of events, then there is a reduced number of progression, there is reduced number of recurrences, and there is a reduced survival, which shows that the addition of the Tegafur to the 5-fluorouracil was an important improvement in the disease-free survival in patients with stage 3 colon cancer. Approximately 70% there is a reduced risk of progression or recurrence when you give a maintenance of 5-fluorouracil Tegafur. When you compare the cardiotoxicities, the side effects of the capecitabine and the 5-fluorouracil, you tend to see that when those who are on intravenous 5-fluorouracil and develop certain cardiac effects, mostly the bradycardias, arrhythmias, they can be treated with the oral combinations of it. Uracil is a natural substrate for DPD and competes with 5-fluorouracil for this, and the degradation of its metabolites. And when the side effects were studied, the angina, the arrhythmias, the congestive heart failures, the myocardial infarctions, and the cardiac arrest were less than 1% grade 3, grade 4 when the oral combinations was given. Among those with the metastatic colorectal cancers, we have 2 regimens for it. The Tegafur uracil 300 milligram per meter square per day plus the leucovorin for 4 weeks on, 1 week off regimen, or the 5-fluorouracil intravenous, that is 425 milligram per meter square per day, and the leucovorin 20 milligram per meter square per day for 5 days every month. The Carmichael study also did the similar. They added a leucovorin dose from 75 to 90 milligram per day. The regimen remains the same, that is 300 milligram per meter square per day for 4 weeks on, 1 week off. It demonstrated that there was an equivalence in the oral as well as the IV regimens in those untreated with metastatic colorectal cancer. And you could see the study 11, where the oral combination of Tegafur uracil with leucovorin rescue as compared to the IV 5-fluorouracil leucovorin rescue, the results were exactly similar. The median survival was 12.4 months and 13.4 months. The hazard ratio was 0.964, which was equivalent, and overall the response rate also didn't different between the two arms. The curves exactly kissing each other. So the oral regimen did significantly improve the safety as compared to the IV regimen. The median time to progression favored the oral regimen, and the side effects were similar. In fact, they were much lesser in the oral regimen. The stomatitis, the nausea, the vomiting, the diarrhea, the mucositis, and in fact, statistically significant, there was lower incidence of febrile neutropenia and infections in the oral regimen. The Carmichael study was the phase 3 study where it compared the time to progression of the oral regimen with the intravenous regimen on the patients untreated metastatic colorectal cancers, and the secondary endpoints were the survival, response, safety and quality of life. And you could see the regimen dose was the same. There was no statistically significant difference in the survival, tumor response, duration of response, and the time to response between the two groups. The two studies showed that there was a substantially safety across all the subjects treated with the Tegafur uracil combinations. They experienced significantly less stomatitis and mucositis and myelosuppression, resulting in lesser episodes of febrile neutropenia, lesser documented infections. Concomitant medications use was also greater with 5-fluorouracil leucovorin combination, and the quality of life also didn't differ. And you could see that the response rates were exactly similar with the either combinations. The median time to progression was similar. The median overall survival was significant. The first line metastatic colorectal carcinoma, the Tegafur is the similar regimen. So when we combine, because both of these studies, the 11 and the 12 study, took the common control regimen, that is the myoclinic regimen. The different timing of retreatments were there, but the similar dose intensity was there, and the survival endpoint was the same. And you could see across them, when you combine this study, you could see out of those 1200 patients, the hazard ratio with the oral 5-fluoro regimen, it was exactly the unity, showing that there was no difference between the IV version and the oral version of it. The side effects were also similar, and the grade 3, grade 4 side effects were much more lesser in the oral regimen as compared to the intravenous regimen. Concomitant medications, the systemic growth factors, the antibiotics, the anxiolytics, they were regimens. So we are in this COVID time, we have to be very careful, because we want the minimum hospital visits, we want the quality of life of the patients with the lesser side effects, and therefore Tegafur uracil leucovorin as an initial treatment for the metastatic colorectal carcinoma, it offers us a similar survival as compared to the 5-fluorouracil leucovorin combination, which is a 48-hour intensive regimen. And there is a reduced risk of febrile neutropenia, the infections, the stomatitis, the mucositis in IV version as compared to the oral Tegafur uracil, and the diarrhea and the nausea and vomiting are much more lesser. And the concomitant medications is much more in the IV version as compared to the oral, and therefore the compare most of the to the oral regimen, the Tegafur regimen, because most of them by the nearly 90%, 84% of them wanted them at the end of the therapy, the oral tablets to be there. The oral therapy requires a lesser use for the Tegafur, and the lesser risk of hospitalization for the adverse effects are there. Therefore, when you have a drug that is similar as compared to the IV, In IV, since you have to keep the patient admitted for 2 days, and there is an increased risk of myelosuppression, there is an increased risk of febrile neutropenia, there is an increased risk of other side effects. The and the survivals are exactly equivalent with the Tegafur uracil as compared to the IV. Therefore, the safety profile as well as the survival profile favors the Tegafur uracil combination, in view of it has a significantly lesser diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, stomatitis, myelosuppression, and there's a lesser use of concomitant medications and hospital administration. Therefore, Tegafur is an oral active prodrug for the 5-FU with the activity in metastatic colorectal as well as in an adjuvant situation, in combination as well as in alone with the oxaliplatin irinotecan. The hand-foot syndrome is very rare with the Tegafur. The future colorectal treatment may be added upon the Tegafur uracil combinations plus the oxaliplatin. And in adjuvant situation also, you could see the results were similar between the two, the oral as well as the
Yes, sir, you can start, sir.
So from the NICE guidelines, which were the British guidelines, which recommended the oral therapy of Tegafur uracil as a first-line combination or as a standalone treatment for the metastatic colorectal cancers. Uh, Similarly was adapted in the Asian guidelines also and the NCCN guidelines also, that the Tegafur is an appropriate regimen for the Asian patients. In addition, it also recommended for an adjuvant situation chemotherapy, especially those who have resected liver or lung metastasis. And various guidelines, the Japanese also recommend them in combinations for the intensive therapies, as well as for those who are not suitable for the intensive therapies, as well as in combinations with the targeted therapies such as cetuximab and the combinations. The recommended dose for the Tegafur is 300 milligram per meter square with, am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir, you're audible and visible.
Okay, the recommended dose of, there is no problem, I suppose.
No, sir, there is no problem. We can hear you properly.
For the Tegafur uracil is 300 milligram per meter square. And you have to give it preferably in the 3 divided doses every 8 hourly for 28 days, and you have to give a 7-day interval just to recover from the toxicities of it in a treatment cycle of 35 days. When you have to combine with the chemoradiation, which is quite commonly used in the colorectal situations, it is a highly effective regimen, as it is a very good radiosensitizer. It helps in the local control as well as the survival by aiding the destruction of the radio-resistant clones. The concomitant chemoradiation, the intent is always to preserve the organ. Therefore, this results in improved cosmesis and function as compared with surgical resection. The chemotherapy, when given as a part of the concurrent chemoradiation, may act systematically and potentially eradicate distant micrometastasis. So when you have to give an agent as a radiosensitizer, you have to be very careful because uh, these agents invariably do their action with the radiation by increasing the radiation damage as well as inhibition of the DNA repair, causing the cell cycle synchronization, increases the cell cycle cytotoxicity, and there is an abrogation of the tumor repopulation. So among the most common cancers where the concomitant chemoradiation are being used are the rectal cancers, as it is preferred because it's a sphincter preserving, as well as with the total neoadjuvant chemotherapy concept, you can obviate the surgery because with the surgery there is quite a loss of morbidity and mortality with the rectal cancer surgeries. So uh, among those with the stage 2 or stage 3 rectal cancers, the post-operative concomitant chemoradiation with oral Tegafur uracil as compared to the intravenous weekly regimen of 5-fluorouracil, you could see the trial looked over the 30 patients, and radiation was delivered in a dose of 50 to 60 gray to the tumor bed in 28 to 33 fractions, with the 5-fluorouracil being given every weekly in 400 to 450 milligram per meter square with the leucovorin rescue, and the oral Tegafur being given in the 300 milligram per meter square, 4 weeks on, 1 week off. The 2-year survival rates were similar, 68 versus 66. The disease-free survival were also similar, 55 versus 50. No grade 3, grade 4 side effects were seen in the either group. And you could see the survival curves were exactly similar, as well as the 2-year disease-free survival rates were also similar. And the 2-year local regional control was similar. The 2-year metastatic-free survival was also similar. So because of the similar survival curves and lower toxicities, the oral Tegafur uracil regimen is superior alternative to the intravenous regimen, especially in this COVID era. Thank you everybody for the patient listening, and may we have questions for better understanding of it.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Any PPT is over, right? Any is any more
yes, perfect.
presentation?
It is, it is.
Uh, Lalit, sir. Hello.
Yeah. I'm just going through the comments panel. I'll request the audience if any kind of questions are there, please post them so that Dr. Vikas sir can, answer them. Sir, there's a question that says that how can we connect Tegafur with the metronomic option of chemotherapy?
So we have tried in number of patients with our uh, already existing protocols, and as we know, metronomic means a therapy which is in smaller doses as well as which can be continuously given and which keeps on a sustained basis of the principles of the metronomic of continuous angiogenesis inhibition as well as a low dose sustained therapy which tumor repopulation and regrowth in future. And we have tried in a number of patients of head neck cancer. Since it's an oral regimen, much lesser size and a lesser hospitalization, it can be easily taken at the patients at their respective domiciliary places, and it provides an equally alternative regimen to the standard established IV regimens, which needs a special care, a special hospitalization. So it can be easily integrated to the existing metronomic backbone of the head neck cancers as well as for the colorectal cancers. The only thing that we have to be very careful is that all of these regimens have a very existing potential of stomatitis as well as mucositis, and we have to give a prophylactics of either the dexamethasone gargles or some antibiotic gargles to prevent the stomatitis and the mucositis associated with it. When you combine two regimens, the toxicities of the two regimens also do combine. So among the existing backbone of probably if you add the metronomic to the methotrexate, celecoxib, ceftinib regimen of the oral head neck cancers, you have to be very careful when you add the Tegafur 5-fluorouracil regimen because that's a very mucositis potentiating regimen, and you have to give a prophylactic before you give them the standard dose. And it usually works very brilliantly and also in an economic way. And the patient during the COVID era, especially in the palliative situations, can benefit from it at their uh, home. And there are many responses for the same.
Sir, I thank you a lot from whole Lupin Oncology team for an insightful as well as a reaffirming session on Tegafur Uracil. So, sir, from all the team, I thanks a lot for your time and your guidance on the same. And I also thank all the audience for joining in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and take care. Have a great day. Thank you, Lupin, for providing the platform as well as the great audience with me. Thank you.